Hello and welcome to the English Creature channel. My name is Richard Elsliger. I'm your host and teacher. I am a licensed attorney in the state of Illinois and I've been practicing here for about 30 years. I'm originally from Toronto, Canada. I speak with a clean, clear, crisp Canadian accent, so you will not hear any kind of a regional variation in the way I speak compared to southern states or parts of England. So my accent is typically understood by all that speak the English language, but the reverse is not always the case. So keep that in mind. Today, we're going to be discussing the verb would. The verb would, which means technically the past tense of will. I will do something. It's technically the past tense of will, and you could use it as I would have done that. I would have gone to the museum, which means you would have done it, but it did not happen. I would have, it would be would have, W-O-U-L-D apostrophe V-E. Now, typically would is used in the present tense to convey moods or something that you hope for or expect to happen. So the first thing would be I would, which means I would do that if such and such happened. You could also order at a restaurant. I would like the spaghetti. I would like the spaghetti, which expresses a desire to have something. I would like that to happen. I would like you to bring me a plate full of spaghetti. So I would like the spaghetti. Now, I would is very technical, very technically or formal. So it's I would like, but that's not what we usually say. It's typically an abbreviation. I'd like. So it's I apostrophe D, which is short for I would like. So everybody says I'd like the spaghetti, which means you're asking for the waiter or the server to bring you a plate of spaghetti. And if you're in a restaurant ordering, the server comes up to you. They would ask, what would you like? What would you like? They wouldn't say, what did you like? They'd say, what would you like? It's a little bit awkward, but what would you like? And you might say, I'd like a glass of water for now, or I'd like a menu. You could also say, I would like a menu. That's also acceptable, but typically it's a contraction. I'd like a menu. I'd like a glass of water. I'd like to have more time to decide. So it'd be I'd like. So they would come to you and say, what would you like? What would you like? As the server would say to you, and you'd say, I'd like this, I'd like that. Or I would need more time. I'd need more time. But you could say, I would need more time to decide. Same thing with the feminine version. She would like a glass of wine. She'd like a glass of wine. So it would be contracted to she'd like a glass of wine. She'd like a plate of pasta. So it'd be same contraction. She'd like, and that's what's normally said in spoken English, especially if you're in a situation in a public place like a restaurant or you're at a train station. She'd like a ticket. I'd like a ticket. He would like. He would like. Now that is typically abbreviated or shortened to he'd like. H-E apostrophe D. So that's the short form. He'd like. He'd like a train ticket. She'd like a train ticket. Now if you're with a group of people and they all want the same thing, you'd say, we would like. We would like this. We would like that. We would like the chicken. We would like the chicken and rice. You could say that, and that's perfectly acceptable, but usually it's the abbreviation. We'd like. We'd like. We'd like. We'd like the plate of rice and chicken. We'd like a glass of pop or Coke. We'd like a train ticket, please. Several train tickets. And last but not least, what would they like? They'd like this, they'd like that. So that's speaking about other people, people other than yourself. So, and that would be abbreviated to they'd like. They'd like. They'd like their car towed if the car breaks down. They'd like their car repaired. So that's basically the verb would, and that's typically how you would use it in such situations. Expresses a desire that you want something, that you need something, and you would like that to happen. You'd like this, you'd like that. So it's a form of asking for somebody to do something for you. I'd like this, or it states a preference. I'd like this, I'd like that. And that's typically how you use the word would. And once again, I'm Richard Elsliger. I'm your host on the English Creature channel. And so endeth the lesson. I say that in kind of an old school way to say it. That's how they would say it back in merry old England. So endeth the lesson. That's very old English style, very prim and proper. And I could easily just to say, the lesson is over, the lesson is ended. But I like so endeth the lesson. It sounds a little more formal for purposes of entertainment. Anyway, that's today's lesson, and take care. Thank you.